So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellen. I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute, man. And if you missed National Geographics today, I got y'all, man. We're gonna check out if these 15 creatures were not filmed, no one would believe it. No one would believe it. All right, so I'm here to replace National Geographics for y'all today. I got y'all, man. We're gonna get into it. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, join the fam, and let's learn something.
The one thing we know for sure when we turn our devices towards the animal kingdom and press record, anything can happen. And that's probably why we love to kill some time with cute animal videos.
Facts.
Our animal friends are unpredictable, even when they're being adorable. Sometimes their behavior is unexplainable, and that's why we love them. But as we all know, things can escalate. These animal moments we film are often dangerous, even deadly, and sometimes downright confusing. And you're about to see.
That's why I watch. I be wanting to know what's deadly. That way I can identify it if I'm ever out somewhere and know, nope, stay away from that.
Some of the rarest. If these 15 creatures were not filmed, no one would believe it. Coney Island creature. All right, while we're on the subject of urban legends and cryptid creations, we should probably turn our attention toward this startling piece of footage that our team of researchers recently uncovered. Filmed by TikTok user Natalie1526N and uploaded back in 2020. As if it were something straight out of a Stranger Things episode, this terrifying sea creature was pulled out of an ocean by an unsuspecting fisherman who was left gobsmacked after the truly bizarre.
Nah, that looked like something off of that old Joe Rogan show where they used to, what was it, Fear Factor? And they used to eat that crazy, yeah, that looked like it belonged on there.
Our three-legged creature emerged from the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. Found along the pier side of New York's famous Coney Island, this strange creature appeared to be still breathing after it had been reeled out of the water. And while it was writhing on the wooden panels, bystanders attempted to determine what the heck this thing was. Thankfully, it didn't take scientists too long to offer an explanation as to this aquatic monster's origins. Several marine experts have suggested that this sea creature was some kind of elasmobranch, which is a type of cartilaginous fish like sharks, stingrays, or skates. However, the report also added that it was incredibly difficult to fully identify the animal, as only around 5% of our oceans had fully been mapped and explored to date. While these scientists were relatively certain that the Coney Island creature was some kind of underdeveloped skate or ray, it could potentially be a never-before-seen sea monster of the deep. What do you guys think? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Fasten your seatbelts, because it's time for today's sweet topic. Typically, massive snakes like this tend to shy away from humans, but for some reason the serpent appears to be sneaking onto a dock or perhaps the deck of a boat. Chances are good there might be people around it. And if you know anything about these super shy animals, there's only one reason they'd bother to get close to us at all: food. Not necessarily us, but maybe a smaller creature like a family pet or a large rodent problem. That'll do it. This looks like a green anaconda, the biggest snake on the planet. This incredible snake from the rainforest can grow to a whopping 20 to 30 feet long, and it can weigh up to 550 pounds. It's a beast. With a muscular body, the giant anaconda is an apex predator that feeds on other reptiles, fish, birds, sheep, deer, capybaras, caimans,
people,
and even jaguars. And with any boa constrictors, the anaconda is non-venomous, so it constricts the prey until at least unconscious before swallowing it whole. But lucky for us, because the green anaconda is the world's most enormous snake, its top speed is only 10 miles an hour. Still, what would you do if you saw this emerging from the water in front of you? In the comments below, let the world know using the hashtag #SweetTopic.
I turn into Ice Cube or Jennifer Lopez or all of them that was in that movie Anacondas, you know what I mean? Snakes out there this big.
Goldenfinch chicks.
What?
Sure, sea creatures are pretty darn weird, but have you ever seen a bird with an alien, glow-in-the-dark beak? Let's introduce you to the infant Goldenfinch, a type of baby bird that's developed one of the more unique and intriguing mouths in the natural world. As a member of a small family of birds, widely known as the Astrildid finches, this species encompasses both the African silverbill and the Goldenfinch, an offshoot of the finch family of birds that all contain unexpected and intriguing mouth markings after hatching. These bizarre marks, such as their beaks being rimmed with a black lining and glow-in-the-dark beads, are so darn disturbing that they commonly inspire comparisons to aliens. Also known as grass finches, this small family of birds can be found in Africa, Australia, and Asia, and although they can be commonly found in the wild, scientists have struggled to explain why they've developed such elaborate patterns as youngsters. One of the leading theories involves brood parasites, a large number of birds who lay their eggs in other bird nests, such as the cuckoo, leaving the parenting duties to the unwitting host parents. Some scientists believe that to combat this issue, the Goldenfinch evolved elaborate and unique mouth markings so that the parent could identify their infants and discard the foreign invaders. Incredible. Probiscus monkey. Okay, we know what you're thinking. And while this monkey may not be the most aesthetically conventional of animals,
why are you looking at the screen like that? Oh man, yeah. If they ever was gonna say that monkeys like just really resemble humans, man. This one here, bro. Oh, bro.
The story behind their distinctive and elongated nose appendage is one of the more intriguing and astonishing in nature. Feast your eyes on the probiscus monkey, a primate that gets somewhat of a bad rep on the internet due to the fact that they've got a huge, fleshy bulb of a nose hanging from their face. However, to some ancient cultures, such as the ancient Egyptians, these animals were so fascinating that they were worshipped as a very unique creature and were believed to have been favored by the gods. Although they were once widespread, these animals are now native and endemic exclusively to the remote island of Borneo in southeastern Asia, where they generally live in coastal areas and favor the shelter of the mangrove and swamp forests. As highly social animals, probiscus monkeys generally form large troops of up to 30 animals. And in areas with sufficient food and resources, these incredible animals have also been known to form supergroups, living in complex and intricate societies in their jungle kingdom. Although they may seem like something from an ancient age of mythology, these astonishing animals are the real deal. Aye. Alright, if you thought that the probiscus monkey was weird, then take a look at the aye, a strange creature that's long been associated with folklore and legend. Although some people consider this mysterious mammal to be quirky, cute, and fluffy.
I don't care. Quirky or not, that thing look like it bites you. It look like you better get to the hospital fast.
Many societies native to Madagascar have traditionally considered the aye to be a troubling omen of ill luck. For this reason, throughout history, these bizarre-looking creatures have often been killed on sight, and combined with a devastating campaign of habitat destruction, this has recently put the aye's population—
That's an allure. Don't be sitting there going, oh, that thing looks like it can do some damage, bro, once it get older.
—in grave danger. As you stare deep into the hauntingly wide eyes of this unique creature, you may wonder if this new mythical animal has somehow glimpsed a prophecy of its own destruction. Although they may not look like primates at first glance, surprisingly, the aye is closely related to chimps, apes, and even us humans. Endemic to Madagascar, they spend their entire lives in the high canopies of the rainforest trees, avoiding coming down to earth for the vast majority of their lifetime. Generally speaking, they're peaceful and nocturnal creatures, and their current survival is owed to spending their time in densely constructed nests of leaves and branches. Tragically, however, the aye is currently one of the more threatened species on the planet, and as the forests and jungles of Madagascar are currently being devastated, the fate of this elusive and mystical creature hangs in the balance. Anaconda eximia. Alright, while the aye may be an ancient animal of mythical proportions, there are a surprising number of recently discovered monsters that have recently been discovered in the dark depths of the ocean. Let us introduce you to the headless chicken monster, an animal so bizarre that it's difficult to understand where it came from. First captured on camera back in 2018, the headless chicken monster is considered one of the more mysterious deep-sea cucumbers ever discovered, and has left researchers scratching their heads as to what the heck this thing is. Officially known as the Anaconda eximia, this creature was first filmed off the east coast of Antarctica and is believed to be the first time that the species has ever been discovered in the area. The only other time that the headless chicken monster has been sighted was in the Gulf of Mexico, thousands of miles apart, leaving scientists bewildered as to how its habitat could be so widespread. The truth is, this anomalous sea cucumber has since become a complete and utter mystery, and the only thing that's known about them is that they are perfectly acclimated to the extreme pressures of the deep sea. Who knows what other strange and unidentified monsters are lurking below? Tarsier. Sure, while the next mysterious creature may resemble something straight out of the Star Wars universe, the truth behind the bizarre primate known as the Tarsier is one of nature's most complicated issues. While they're little known across the rest of the world, this extraordinary creature is one of the tiniest primates on Earth, measuring
That thing look like a gremlin, bro. Don't feed it after 12 and don't let it get wet.
in at around roughly the same size as a tennis ball. Native to the Philippines, while they weigh under a single pound, these cute creatures aren't to be underestimated, and they're officially known as the only entirely carnivorous primate, feasting on insects and often chowing down on small birds and lizards. However, there's a darker side to these incredible animals. For the past several decades, criminals have captured these creatures in mass, keeping them in cages in an attempt to hook tourists into paying for selfies with the wide-eyed critters. For the Tarsier, this existence is too bleak to handle, and these otherwise wonderful creatures will often choose to take their own lives when they're held in captivity. These tiny creatures get so traumatized by loud noises, as well as being touched by humans, that the resulting experience is often too much to bear. In many cases, if a Tarsier is put into a cage, it will often last just a single day before succumbing to the trauma. As the oldest primate on the planet, dating back to at least 55 million years ago, unless these animals are saved by conservation, they may disappear entirely.
So y'all hear that, right? They are not pets, bro. They're not gonna last.
Emotional support gator. While emotional support animals are an incredible
Emotional support. That don't even go together. I don't know no alligator that's gonna give you emotional support.
and necessary demonstration of humans and animals living in symbiosis, the last thing that you'd expect to see is an emotional support alligator. For decades, dogs and even cats have been prescribed to people who suffer from a wide range of disabilities and conditions, as both therapeutic recovery means and safety methods in order to keep their humans safe and secure. However, for one 65-year-old man from Pennsylvania who was suffering from severe depression, the only solace that he could find was from his 60-pound federally licensed emotional support alligator.
I don't know what I would have done without him.
He ain't even got his mouth taped, bro. Why do I feel like in a few years it's gonna be on the news that this gator just one day snapped at him? Like, at least put some tape around his mouth, man. They like you play that emotional support or not, you living reckless.
Little Wally. After being rescued from just outside of Orlando as a 14-month-old youngster, Little Wally became best friends with his owner, Joey Henney, and now the pair are inseparable, often going on walks together and even swimming together in his pool. After being diagnosed with depression, Joey refused to take medication, and instead, he found his source of recovery from the most unlikely.
Bro, this is not safe. Are you kidding me? Like, this is allowed? I just see this thing growing up and this turning out so bad. I hope that doesn't happen, but come on, man. This is are you seriously putting your trust here? Why not a goldfish or something, man?
Places. His pet alligator. Hey, it's not how about you get there, it's about how your friends make you feel along the way.
That's scary.
Horseshoe crabs. All right, while this next entry may appear pretty average on the surface, deep beneath their hardened shell, the rare and elusive horseshoe crab possesses one of the more insanely valuable resources on Earth.
This is actually an insane time for horseshoe crabs. People come from all over the world to see them.
Worth a staggering $53,320 per gallon, horseshoe crabs use a unique substance known as hemocyanin to carry oxygen throughout their blood, and because of that, they're incredibly sensitive to toxins from bacteria. In the biomedical world, this unique function is perfect to carry out clinical trials, and horseshoe crabs are considered one of the more valuable animals on the planet. Despite existing for hundreds of millions of years, horseshoe crabs are virtually unchanged from their ancient relatives, and their biological components are the perfect example of the phrase, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." Technically speaking, the horseshoe crab is a living fossil, and they've remained unchanged for at least 445 million years, well before dinosaurs existed. Having an average lifespan of well over 20 years, the horseshoe crab is a true master of survival. Musk deer. There are few things as bizarre as a vampire-toothed deer, and yet the little-known musk deer continues to surprise scientists and animal enthusiasts alike. You see, while there are many ancient myths about strangely fanged four-legged creatures in the wild places of our planet, the Kashmir musk deer is much more than just a legend. While deers are more commonly distinguished by their antlers, the musk deer evolved to do things differently, and instead they sprouted long, sharp canine teeth that jut out just below their lower jaw. For hundreds of years, the musk deer was considered an urban legend. But in 1948, during an expedition through a valley of Afghanistan, a team of scientists caught a glimpse of the never-before-seen creature. Since then, there have only ever been a handful of similar instances, and while the Kashmir musk deer is officially listed as an endangered species, researchers really have no idea how many animals currently live in the wild. Scientists believe that the male members of the species develop these frightening fangs during the breeding season, where they actually use their tusk-like teeth in an effort to fight off competing males. Amazing. Kawaiimundi. Ever heard of a Kawaiimundi? Well, you're not alone, because these strange and elusive mammals are considered to be one of the more strange and most surprising animals on the planet. Technically speaking, the Kawaiimundi is part of the raccoon family, and despite the fact that they mainly inhabit the jungles of South and Central America, they behave strikingly similar to their trash-hunting North American counterparts. Visually, this animal looks like a combination of a lemur, a raccoon, and a monkey, and they're defined by their elongated, piglet-like noses. Favoring the forest canopies, these incredible animals regularly hang out in trees where it uses its long snout to forage insects and fruit amongst the treetops. Incredibly, the female coatis live in a large group, ranging up to 20 individuals at a time, whereas adult males choose to live as solitary creatures, preferring to roam the jungles alone in isolation. While there is little known outside of their native habitats, Kawaiimundis are some of the more fascinating animals on the planet. Shoebill. Alright, let's leave the cuteness of the Kawaiimundi behind and instead take a look at this bizarre demon bird from the swamps of Eastern Africa.
Yo, if I ain't ever agree with anything he said, this bird definitely looks like a demon. Like, it got that little, like, fake smirk, like, devilish grin to it, to the beak. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. See?
If you already have a phobia of terrifying birds, then you'll probably be pretty unsettled by the haunting gaze of the shoebill. For all intents and purposes, the shoebill is actually one of the more nightmarish animals on Earth. On top of the fact that the bird has a demonic grin that could put most horror villains to shame, the shoebill is also a ravenous carnivore that can often reach heights of up to 4 feet tall. In some cases, these long-legged demons have been recorded at heights of over 5 feet, making them one of the tallest birds in the world. Commonly known to feast on turtles, fish, and even young crocodiles that are unfortunate enough to try and tackle it as a means of hunting, the shoebill uses its gigantic and terrifying beak to decapitate its prey in a single swipe before consuming it. If that's not enough, not only does it treat its prey with merciless disdain, but also its children. If 2 shoebill eggs hatch, the parent will instantly reject the younger sibling, often encouraging the more dominant hatchling to fight its sibling to death. From an evolutionary perspective, scientists consider this to be a form of energy conservation, but there's no denying that the shoebill is one of the more shocking animals on Earth. Bilby. Alright, let's forget about the shoebill bird of terror and give ourselves a much-needed dose of cuteness. With ears like a rabbit, legs like a kangaroo, and the distinctive snout of a bandicoot. It's pretty easy to understand why their rare and elusive bilby is often mistaken for a creature of myth and legend. Native to the outback of Australia, the word bilby comes from an Aboriginal name meaning long-nosed rat, although they're also known as rabbit bandicoots and dowgites. Endemic to the desert regions of Australia, these animals are highly adaptive, and at one point it's believed that they inhabited more than 70% of Australia. However, after human development and the introduction of invasive predators, the bilby is now only found in just 15% of the continent, isolated to a few remote parts of Western Australia, Western Queensland, and the Northern Territory. As master burrowers, these extraordinary animals will rarely surface, making them one of the more elusive animals on the planet. Opera dog. Here's something you certainly don't see every day: a dog singing opera. Well, while many canines have a passion for howling and hollering, few of them can hold a tune quite like Hugo, an opera-loving dog that has shot to internet stardom after his owner snapped a video of him.
I knew he was viral. You already know.
Singing to a classic slice of opera. At first, Hugo was seen sleeping soundly on the floor, but as his favorite opera singer, Pavarotti, takes to the stage, the roaring orchestra wakes Hugo from his slumber, and he quickly joins in with the operatic chorus. Incredibly, Hugo the dog even waits patiently while the verses play out, and then each time as the chorus arrives, the charismatic dog can't help but join back in. While it might not be the most startling of scientific discoveries,
I wonder if I could teach my dog like some Tupac or some Jay-Z or something like that. Maybe some Lil Wayne, some Drake, something like that. Maybe I can get my dog to do something like that. I'm gonna have to try it though.
There's no denying the fact that this wonder dog had his moment to shine. Amazing. Ilipika. Speaking of cute, feast your eyes on the Ilipika, a tiny mammal that lives in the remote mountainous regions of China, and given the fact that it's so darn tiny, it's rarely ever spotted in its native habitat. Several years ago, one of the first recorded sightings of the Ilipika went viral across the internet, and it's been considered the first verified time the animal had been spotted in the wild since 1983. Endemic to the Tian Shan Mountains of Xinjiang in China, adult Ilipikas grow to just 8 inches in length and weigh roughly around just a half pound. With a lifespan of just 7 years, there are thought to be less than 1,000 of these extraordinary animals currently living in the mountain habitat. Over the past several decades, with the ever-growing decline of grasslands in the Tian Shan Mountains, the Ilipika has been forced higher and higher into the snowy peaks, forced to hide at higher elevations in order to avoid ever-growing predators. While conservation efforts have currently brought the Ilipika population to relatively sustainable levels, without critical intervention, these incredible animals may disappear forever. Gloucester Canary. And finally, what better way to end this list than with a true canary in the coal mine? A bird so bizarre that its haircut makes it look like a member of
I thought you had a toupee on.
the Beatles.
My bad.
Feast your eyes on the Gloucester Canary,
Yo, I can't help it, bro. He look like one of the Three Stooges.
a tiny songbird that once originated in England, but now can only be found in the wilds of the Canary Islands, Madeira, and Azores. The thing is, while these birds are incredibly rare in the wild, as pets, they're considered one of the more sought-after birds on the planet, flavored by bird breeders and avian enthusiasts who celebrate these incredible tiny songbirds for their strange and startling appearance. While these birds won't be singing a psychedelic hit, their song is certainly just as sweet. Well,
I thought he had a toupee on, man. My bad, y'all. Y'all can't tell me that was funny, though. But, listen, man, the craziest thing about this video is the dude with the alligator as a pet, man. I'm worried about that dude. I need to know his name so I can just, follow him on Instagram or Facebook if he got something. Older people normally have Facebook. So, I just don't see that going well, man. I don't. That animal has no alliance or allegiance to you, man. Like, I hope somebody just makes him stop that. Because all it takes is one time for that alligator to just snap, bro. And that's scary. I'm nervous for that, man. I'm super nervous for that, man. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Could y'all do that? Could y'all have a pet alligator and not even have the mouth taped up? Like, you really trust that gator? I don't. And I'm a Gators fan of the football team, not the actual gator. So, but y'all get at me. Let me know what you think. And yeah, man, get you one of them canaries with the toupee on their head. All right, it's your boy L. Till the next reaction, man. I'm gone. Peace.